Hey, this is We've Been Drinking MMA. We're breaking down and predicting Volkanovski Makachev 2, the pay per view. And this fight is between Said Nurmagomedov versus Muin Gafurov at 135 pounds. This is backhand. My pick is going to be Said Nurmagomedov, and Lousy, his pick is also Said Nurmagomedov. Nurmagomedov is minus 230, $230 to profit 100, which is actually a great price considering Said Nurmagomedov is ranked top 15 and Gafurov only has one fight in the UFC, and it's a loss. On top of that, Gafurov also has one contender series fight, and that was a loss. And the guy he lost to, Chad Anhelger, actually had some real fights in the UFC, and he's 0-2 in the UFC. So not only did Gafurov lose his one and only fight in the UFC, but the contender series fight, which is like the minor leagues for UFC, he lost there, and the guy he lost to, Chad Anhelger, went 0-2 in the UFC. So I don't like that, man, for Gafurov, man. And Said Nurmagomedov, to be quite honest, is a steal in this fight. Probably the steal of the card, to be quite honest. I'll just say that right now. I love this matchup. I love the price for Said Nurmagomedov. So just talking about the style matchup really quickly, Muin Gafurov is a guy who stands way too close to his opponent. And I wouldn't mind if he standed very close as long as he was throwing enough punches. But the guy's too hesitant. He's not throwing enough punches to justify standing this close to his opponent. So what kind of opponent would beat Gafurov? A guy who's fast and who's got leg kicks, because Gafurov's legs are there to be kicked, and he's slower than most fighters. And so a speedy fighter who could leg kick you and just run circles around you would beat you. And that's who Said Nurmagomedov is. Well, that's one thing that Said Nurmagomedov is great at. Said Nurmagomedov also has great counter punches, great combinations. His kicks are great overall. His grappling, if you take him down, even like he'll submit you like he did a couple fights ago. He submitted Sadikob Kakramanov. It was amazing. Subbed him in the second round, even though he's getting repeatedly taken down. He got him in a choke. So that's the whole thing, is that he's so dangerous. And ultimately, Said Nurmagomedov's record in the UFC is 6-2. However, it's misleading because his last fight against Jonathan Martinez was a loss. So he should be actually 7-1. Right, but the thing is that he's 6-2 because of his last loss against Jonathan Martinez. But a lot of people thought Said Nurmagomedov won. Nurmagomedov was the favorite against Jonathan Martinez, and it was a really close fight in the end. I think there was some cage holding by Martinez and just some knees against the fence and maybe the cage holding time. Now that the judging has changed to damage and things like that, Nurmagomedov probably wins that easily 2-1. But in that time, which was a little bit ago in March of this year, it was still up in the air, and they just gave it to Jonathan Martinez ever so slightly. And guess what? Jonathan Martinez did last week. He finished Adrian Yanez with leg kicks in the second round, and Yanez was ranked number 12, and Martinez was ranked number 14 because he took Said Nurmagomedov's number 14 ranking. Now you can clearly see Jonathan Martinez is now ranked number 12, if not number 10 at this point, because of how easily he disposed of Adrian Yanez with those leg kicks. And Said Nurmagomedov was arguably beat Jonathan Martinez. So you could see even Said Nurmagomedov not just as top 15, but it really as a top 10 fighter. And in my opinion, he should be a guy who is getting into the top 5 and really challenging for the belt within the next year and a half. The loss against Jonathan Martinez kind of derailed that, but guess what? Because of that loss, we get a great price here with Said Nurmagomedov, minus 230 versus Muin Gafurov in this matchup. So I'm loving the price, everybody. I'm going with Said Nurmagomedov easily, and guess what? Said Nurmagomedov versus Jonathan Martinez in his last fight was the same price. He was like minus 230, $230 to profit $100 against Jonathan Martinez, who's a top 10 fighter. And Muin Gafurov, not only is he not top 10, not only is he not top 15, Muin Gafurov is 0-1 in his UFC fight. And like I said, if you didn't hear me before, I'll say it again, in the minor leagues, which is the contender series, Muin Gafurov has one fight there, and he lost there. And his loss against that guy, Chad Anhelger lost in the UFC, and twice. He was 0-2. So Gafurov lost to a losing fighter in the Contender Series, which is the minor leagues, and in the UFC, he has one fight, and he lost there by unanimous decision. This is a walk in the park for Said Nurmagomedov, and minus 230 against Gafurov is just like, all right, thanks for the easy money. So I'm just going to say that right there. That is basically my lock. Whatever, what have you, best value bet, it's everything. This is the fight that I'm going to definitely be putting the most money on. Maybe I'll take a loan out. You never know. This is a really, really funny thing that the price is so low, and it's just because he has one loss to Martinez. But other than that, he was Said Nurmagomedov is still 4-1 in his last 5. How do you have him at minus 230? He should be at least minus 450, minus 500. So this is an easy win for Said Nurmagomedov. It's not even my opinion. Just factually, it is my opinion, but factually, just look at the stats. I mean, the wins and losses. Gafurov is 0-1, and Said is 6-2, and he's a ranked fighter, top 15. Come on, this is a joke. So thank you so much for listening. Hope everybody enjoys the fight, and please like, subscribe, and comment. Thank you.